Hi everyone, Amy here with amyswares, and today I'm going to make a thank you card featuring a couple new stencils from the June release at A Colorful Life Designs. So here I have Dotted Waves and Agave, and I'm going to combine them both to create a really fun, natural looking card. Here's a photo to show you the direction that we're headed, but it came together really quickly and I'm so pleased with how it turned out. So I have some brown neutral colors from Catherine Pooler that I'm planning to use on top of this Hero Hues cardstock, and I will link everything below in the video description box. If you expand and scroll down, you'll find all of those details. But basically, I'm just using my little makeshift setup here. I have one of the Altenew low tack sticky mats, and I have it positioned in the center of a kind of low profile cake decorating turntable. I've had this with me for, I don't know, probably 25 years now. I used to cake decorate when I was a young adult, and I still have this and use it for cake decorating from time to time. So I'm just going to do this preliminary layer with this cool dotted waves to create a fun background. Now originally I was going to do Bay Breeze, but then I was a little nervous that it was too teal for what I was going for. So I did end up changing it, I believe, to the color Spruce instead. But I'm going to mask off this edge because I don't want to get ink where I don't want it. Yeah, at this point I decided, nope, I'm changing it to Spruce. So I have my little small Altenew blending brushes here, and I'm just going to put the green in here, kind of heavier handed in spots, lighter handed in others, just to kind of give it a little bit of variation in color. Just filling this in, and basically that's the design. I mean, there's not a whole lot to this, just kind of working through. I think I do come in a little bit darker towards the center because I feel like that's where the shadows would be. And then I'm going to bring in a little bit of brown as well, icing on the cake, just to, again, give it even more variation because I don't want it to look flat at all. I want it to look like it has, you know, some depth to it. So that's the panel finish. Now I do decide to cut it down. I'm going to grab a larger one, but these are deckled edge nested dies that I got from KRAFT Stash in the UK. I will link it below. I've found myself reaching for this a lot, and their price point is so reasonable, and they do ship to the US. So be sure to check out that company if you aren't familiar. Here I'm just going to use some white gel pen and add a couple little highlights onto a couple of the leaves. What would they be called on an agave plant? Are they leaves? I'm not even sure. Let me know in the comments. You can tell how botanically inclined I am, right? I know all the names. I wouldn't have even known that was agave if that wasn't the name of the stencil. I would have said like pokey cactus stencil or something like that because, yeah, I'm that knowledgeable on the subject. So originally I was looking into thin like a thin sentiment strip. I was kind of considering that one of my tailored expressions, but then I decided to look in my sentiment book, and alas, another tailored expressions, but that is a super cool, I think it's called like scripture or scripted something or another. I will link it below. I think for a while it was not available anymore. It was discontinued, but I think she brought it back, or maybe I couldn't find it. Either way, it's one of my favorite script dies. I think it's so pretty. I love the big loopy letters, and I use some of the matching brown just to kind of go around the edges of the card base so it's not the same color, and so there'll be some differentiation between the panel, and you can see that cool deckled edge. And I have my 2-inch foam tape here, which I'm going to have to trim down because it's a little bit smaller than 4 inches and I don't want it to go off the edge. So I'm just going to trim a little bit of that off and place that on the front of the card base. Now the card base is 4 1/4 inches by 5.5, so that's US A2 size. Just going to remove the backer and slap that down, and then I just need to attach the thanks onto the front of the card. I did end up using my micro dots. I've been reaching for these again lately. I know for a while they were kind of getting on my nerves because sometimes the dots will get on the front of the sentiment, and that really annoys me. But I have found that if I kind of brush my hand or an adhesive eraser on the top sheet on the inside, I feel like it gets rid of some of those glue dots that would otherwise maybe stick to the front of your die cut. So that's a little tip if you struggle with that too. But as you can see, this is a super dainty, delicate little die, and I don't even want to think about how much oozage there would be if I used liquid glue for that. So I was glad that I had the micro dots in this case, and I didn't really have any issue once I wiped off that top sheet. Now I'm just going to put down some blingage. There are 12 new colors in the shop this month for June, so be sure to check those out, as well as all the other stencils, and use my coupon AmyFan10. I decided to go with the satin matte gold because it matched that thanks die cut so beautifully. Just flipping through just to make sure, because there are some green ones that might have worked too, but I really wanted to add a little bit more shine to match that sentiment. So like I said, be sure to check out this release. There's loads of beautiful stencils this month and 12 new gorgeous colors. You can use my coupon AmyFan10 at checkout. I will link all the products that I use, not just the stencils and the bling. Look at that. Picture of Grace, just chucking stuff all around. It's great. Super graceful I am. Anyway, here's the finished card. If you enjoyed it, please hit the thumbs up and consider subscribing, and I will catch you next time. Bye.